Guys, right now we're on our way to, I believe, a 2010 Jeep, I believe it's a Jeep Wrangler that has a replacement computer. This thing was actually taken to the dealership to have the dealer program it, and the dealer had it for a while and said they can't program it. So I don't know what we're going to come up with here. I'm interested to kind of figure out what's going on. We're going to find out. I'll take you along. All right, this is a 2010 Jeep Wrangler, and it does have a replacement PCM. It looks like a quality unit. I think this is actually, this is a dealer unit. You can tell by the orange sticker down there, the Mopar sticker. We do have access to the original computer. This is the vehicle computer that it was running on before, and what I'm paying attention to right here is this software update number, this 680-43457 number right there. That's what we're going to pay attention to. Supposedly, this did not have throttle body codes until the PCM was replaced, and then it started setting throttle codes, and the throttle won't relearn. They did replace a throttle body, and it didn't fix it and put back on the original, and I think they actually did an APP, the pedal too, but I'm not 100% sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take this back, and we're going to ID this vehicle here, and we're going to figure out what calibration is in this vehicle. So there are no flashes available. Let's just go, we'll do our pre-scan report. Always got to get that going first so we can save all the information there. And our active PCM codes are the APP sensor 1 and sensor circuit 2 low. Those are some active codes. I'm going to go ahead and check that calibration in the ECM here. Let's see here, PCM should I say, PCM, and we're going to go to the flash, and this is a 6804357. And this one is a 6804357, yeah. So we've got the same, the right calibration seems to be in there. Let's see what's going on. I've been hunting around a little bit trying to see what I can figure out. This does pass the Learn ETC process, so I can do this whole process. I've done it like 6 times. It passes every single time, but we're stuck with all these codes. And one thing I see similar here is APP2 has a lot of problems going on. Everything seems about right. I gotta find the minimum maximum voltages for APP1 and APP2, make sure we're within specification. Now guys, as you see here, you see these little glitches or these little dropouts. That is perfectly normal. Guys, that is like a test function of the PCM or something to test a circuit. It tells you right in all the flow charts, it does it every 320 milliseconds. Now I got a question for y'all. Why don't we see it happening every 0.3 of a second on our scan tool? If you're on a track of thinking it's something to do with how the scan tool reads data, you're right on, because the scan tool is basically taking the information that the PCM gives it, and it has to transmit it through the scan tool back to the computer, all that stuff. So you won't see it every 320 millisecond delay. If we put a scope on there, you would see it exactly that 320 milliseconds or whatever the spec was there, that little dropout. So just because you don't see it all the time, it can be confusing when you're looking at this information. This is APP1 here. One thing that's really interesting here is I can do the ETC learn, electronic throttle control learn, and it passes. And looking at the APP sensor, you know, we got some normal ranges here. Guys, I am sorry to say that unfortunately I had some technical difficulty with my camera and recording setup, and things went sideways on me with that. So I'm going to share with you kind of what I was looking at here. And I was looking at all these DTCs, and we're using, in this instance, we're using all data. We had a couple codes going on here that all related to APP2 sensor. So we have 2127 that was setting. And this code, just so you know, when we're looking at this, is basically saying that it's monitored only when no other APP sensor codes are present. And when an APP sensor voltage is low, the engine will only idle, forced idle type thing. And you can see the flow chart here. There's a lot of good information. This is all data's information about how to test this. But one of the things, talking about the APP sweep here, I want to show you, does the voltage start at approximately 0.22 volts and go up to 2.31 volts? Well, I have to ask you guys, Yeah, I really do have to ask you, what is approximately? They don't really give us a true specification here. If you saw back on the other clip, we were at 2.27 volts was our maximum with the original APP installed. That voltage is just a little bit lower than what they're expecting. Now, the technician had told me that the original computer had no APP codes on it whatsoever. So I plugged in the original PCM. So with this original computer plugged back in, I had no APP codes. And this is with the original APP sensor plugged in. So I'm like, this is interesting. Let me try and do a learn ETC function. I go ahead and do that. It says pass on the scan tool. Now, mind you, the whole time the dealer had told my shop, and the shop has been telling me that it fails the learn ETC function. Now, whether it's actually failing to learn ETC or they're getting stuck with the codes that I get stuck with, I'm not sure what they're doing. But this said pass ETC learn. ETC learn passed. However, I had all the same codes that in this original computer now that didn't have any codes before that I had in the new computer. So I figured, well, let me try switch my APP, put the, because they had a bunch laying around the shop, multiple to choose from actually. This car's been a problem for them. So I plug in a new APP sensor and I do the throttle learn. It passes. And I still have those codes, and I can't clear them. And everything looks okay with the throttle, with the APP voltages. I don't see anything going on here. Just so you know, I did talk to my technician, should I say the technician, working on it. We've been corresponding for over a day now, back and forth. I just want to learn more about what was going on here, because it seems like something was fishy with the way the computer was setting these codes. So anyways, now I have the original computer stuck with these codes and the new computer stuck with these codes. So I figured, well, let me just try to do a flash update here, because on the original PCM, there was a calibration update available to the same calibration that was in the new PCM. Guys, on Chrysler products, most times in my experience, you can go ahead and just flash over a file. Like if you have the latest calibration and you just want to flash it again, it will allow you to, no problem. But I did the hot swap. I had the original one in. It said there was an update. Basically, I turned the key off, plug in the new computer, hit the flash update button, program the new computer. This is with APP2 installed. And after I programmed that new computer, I got stuck with the normal codes that you have when you do a new PCM. These are the 2115, the 2116, the 2166, and the 2167. These codes are basically stating, that the computer, the ECM, has not learned the minimum and maximum voltages for the APP sensor. So guys, once I had a new APP in and a fresh flash, we took away the problem that was existing, okay, which was APP sensor, and we had a new APP, and we flash update this thing. Now I got the normal codes. I did the learn ETC function, and this vehicle was happy. So this was very interesting. Guys, unfortunately, my camera messed up. I need a camera person, right? As I was recording, one time I didn't hit the record button, and then I had about a 6-minute segment of all kinds of good stuff that I was going to share with you, but the audio is absolute garbage. For some reason, I picked up some interference, and I don't have it. So I'm giving you guys kind of some of the B-roll here. I'll let some of it play for you at the end. But I just want to share this. I thought this was a really interesting situation, because on the new computer, I did put in the new APP. So did the shop. The shop did that as well. They have a couple different scan tools that they would have been able to do that sensor learn, and it should have been okay. But once the computer got stuck in its logic lock, if you will, it wouldn't clear. Now the shop had disconnected the battery and touched the terminals together to try and clear the memory. They told me that they did that like for a couple hours, I think the one time they did. I disconnected the battery once. For about 2 minutes, touched the terminals, and I did not clear the memory. I'm trying to think, I was thinking about all the different things that will cause this type of problem, but I really believe it's something in the software that was getting silly. And I do believe also that I've probably been burned by a similar situation before. I almost guarantee you there's been 1 or 2 times that I bailed on a car because I spent a lot of time. I'm like, hey, I don't know. I did this, I did that, did the other thing. And probably switching out parts without doing the update was not clearing the PCM memory and causing issues. So guys, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I'll let some of this other footage roll. Not such good footage, but I did do other testing, just so you know. I looked at the flow charts and all that, and just so you guys know, I think I mentioned it already, but the APP voltages for 1 and 2 were within 100th or 200th of a volt of each other from the original sensor and the new sensor. Now, the one thing I could tell you that I wish I did to catch this thing, I could have put a scope on her. I mean, if I would have just got my scope out, I don't know if I told you, but I sold my used scope, guys. I'm so bummed out I'm giving these things away, and I don't even have one for myself now. I'm really bumming that I don't have them have a used scope for myself, because that's a quick thing. Pico scope is awesome. I love it, but it's a long story. I just didn't get into that shop at that point. I was pretty sure that we were dealing with a situation that, you know, the scope may have found, to be honest with you. It might have found, but I knew that we were dealing with something with the circuits for the APP. And as you see here, I did check my 5-volt reference. I did check my grounds, and I did check the sensor signal at the APP and verified it was the same reading at the PCM or at the scan data. Everything looked good here, and there's just a lot to talk about there. So switching out the original computer back into this vehicle, we still have all these codes setting. Not all of them came back, but I'm still looking for these circuit low codes, sensor 1, and we got the performance or end stop for sensor 2. So going back to the diagram, terminal 1 and terminal number 6 are both our 5-volt references. And let's see if I can get the light so you guys can see. I am back probed down there, and this light just doesn't work well, or my camera doesn't work well, but we're in there, and we do have 5 volts on the one 5-volt reference, and we have 5 volts on the other one as well. So that's good. And I'm testing pins 3 and 4 at the APP, brown and yellow and brown and violet. These are both our APP sensor ground 1, APP sensor ground 2. And just so you know, I moved my multimeter to the 2000 millivolt scale to give us a little more resolution, and we're seeing 7 millivolts. This is directly to the battery ground. So I'm probing in there. I don't think that that's the problem. Also, I want to show you looking at our APP1 on a scan tool, 0.42 volts, and we are at 0.42 volts down here. I have a different pedal that we were trying because it was in the shop already, and we are still back probing there. So I'm going to move this over to the APP2, which I know you guys probably aren't going to be able to see. It's a pretty odd problem. I'm kind of thinking it might be, well, I don't even know what is going on here. I'll be the first one to tell you. And there we are into our other APP. We got 0.21 volts at the sensor, and you can see we have 0.21 volts on the scan tool. So this is really interesting to me, what's going on here, how we can't get rid of these codes no matter what we do. Also, I've been talking to a bunch of different technicians about this problem. You know, sharing what I'm learning and what I've seen with this vehicle is very interesting. And a couple of people have asked me, oh, did you check Identifix? And yes, I did. I actually checked Identifix when I was on site, and the shop that I was at actually has Identifix, and they actually use a hotline call to Identifix. So they got something into it too. But this one thing on Identifix that was interesting to me here is, if you look, we have, what do we have? For confirmed fixes, way at the bottom here, let me get myself out of the way. Some of them are replace PCM as what fixed the vehicle. My big question is, would a reflash have fixed these ones that they had to replace the PCM? I think it would have. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know. But I truly feel this was some sort of a logic lock going on. I don't know if I can prove that or not, but I may never will be able to. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. This was a little bit long rant about stuff. I just want to share what was going on. I hope everybody's doing good. Have a great day. Bye-bye.